Joe, what's it like to see your defense play like that today, and how much easier does that make your job?
In some ways, it doesn't always make it easier. It's awesome to see them play like that, first of all. Um, but yeah, it's funny the way things go, and when the defense is playing that good, sometimes as an offense, you kind of get in the mode of playing conservative, and then you kind of put yourself behind the sticks, and then a penalty here, a penalty there. So in some ways, it makes us be more on top of our stuff and things like that. But obviously, the outcome of the game is going to be way improved when your defense is playing like that, no matter how your offense goes out and reacts to that. So, offensively, obviously we weren't great, but I thought we did our job. I thought we, in a couple situations, we were able to do what we needed to do to really make the game feel a lot more comfortable than it could have been.
Coming off that first win of the season, did you notice a difference in confidence or just demeanor within the team today?
Yeah, I would say, somebody asked me that during the week, and, I think we've been really good during the week, all throughout. So come Tuesday, Wednesday, guys have been really ready to go and practiced hard. But I think always when you get that first win, it ramps you up a little bit. And then when you get to the game on Sunday, you have that feeling of we've been here before. We know how to react to this situation. And guys play more freely. They play more aggressively. A lot of times, when you see young players, you see them play real aggressive in practice, and there's nothing really to lose. So they play great. And then you get out in the game, and it's a matter of taking it from the practice field to the game field, being able to play with that same aggression and no hesitation. And I think, when you go out there and you haven't won anything, it's tough to do that. And when you go out there and you win your first game and you start to feel a little bit better, it makes it a lot easier to just go play and let everything else take care of itself. You react, you play as fast as you can, there's no hesitation. And that little bit of time that you take out just waiting on something where you just say, I'm going to go get this, that makes all the difference in the world, especially on defense. So I think, yes, the winning a game definitely helps you out as a team confidence-wise, and because of that.
You had that big play to that big throw to Noah Fant that he got kind of turned around, lost it a little bit. What happened on that play, and did you say anything to him afterwards, just keep his spirits up?
I didn't say anything, and I probably should have, because, stuff happens. And, luckily our defense went out there and stopped him anyway, and obviously didn't put any points on the board. So it's just one of those things, unfortunate. He did a really good job on the route. He did a really good job. He did. We ran it earlier in the week, and he tried clubbing the guy by, and he ran like a 10-yard route and didn't get open in practice. And then today in the game, he did it perfect. He went inside the guy, let the guy kind of get on his back hip, beat him up the field, and what happened. So, he's a young guy, and he's going to learn from all those things. And if it's going to mean that I make a mistake here and there, then that's just what's going to happen, and I'm going to have to live with that. We're going to have to live with that as a team and know that it's for the better in the future.
Joe, we know their defense is really good, but how much of your struggles were maybe a little self-inflicted?
Well, it's tough to really say as I reflect on it right now. We definitely had some penalties. I thought in terms of, I think a lot of times when you know you're going against a good defense, you talk yourself into the fact that it's going to be this grinded out game, and it's going to be, it's going to take 60 minutes. And I think the one thing I would say is that you get a little less aggressive than maybe you should be, just because you give them a lot of credit on the other side. And I think when we really turn the corner and become a really good offense, we're not going to care really who we're facing. We're just going to go out there and we're going to do our thing the way we know how to do it. And I would say that's kind of a little bit of what I felt today.
Joe, who did you notice step up, and how did the offense change when Emmanuel wasn't out there in the second half?
Well, man, it's not one guy. A lot of guys had to step up. I thought Deshaun played really fast today, and obviously he, I say that, and I don't want to take away from what he's been doing in the previous games, just because he hasn't gotten as many touches. But he had a couple big catches, and the fact that he hasn't had a ton of touches, it was impressive that he was able to jump in there and play quickly, be in the right spot, find my eyes, do those things. I thought Freddie did a great job stepping in there and knowing where to be, knowing exactly where to be, and not letting our offense skip a beat. I thought the offensive line played tough against a good front, and our running backs ran hard.
Joe, with Courtland Sutton, you guys have gotten more and more in rhythm with every week. If he's a number one, let's say against Kansas City, what kind of faith do you have that he can do, what he needs to do as a top target?
I mean, look at Courtland, man. I mean, when you picture, like, when everybody pictures what they want a really good receiver to look like and be, it's him. I mean, he looks the part, and it's very, very, few times where a guy actually looks like that. Does he actually able to? He's a great person, works really hard, and he's just a hell of a football player. I mean, you can see what he does. He's a legit number one wide receiver, so I trust him to do whatever we ask him to do.
Joe, you talked about scoring when you guys needed to. How critical was capitalizing off Justin's takeaway there and getting the touchdown with Phillip to push it to 13?
Yeah, no, that was really big. When you get down there, man, you want to put the ball in the end zone, especially in those games when you know that, you can make it. Obviously, it only, when we got to when we got to 13, I think that got us to 13, right, the touchdown. So that makes it a 2-possession game, and obviously with the field goal after that, it's still a 2-possession game, but it makes it a little bit more than that, kinda. So once you kind of get into the fourth quarter and late in the third quarter, and you kind of see what kind of game it's going to be, those scores are always huge.
And then special teams-wise, a little bit easier to not be backed up. You get the long one from Deontay.
Yeah, well, we still had a few backed up because we couldn't get ourselves out of the hole most of the time, but he had a really good return on that one, and it was good to – it's always good when you see those and you're looking for flags and stuff like that, and you don't see any, so you get the good field position. It would have been nice to – we went down there. We had a decent drive. We just – we were incomplete there in the third down and ended up having to kick a field goal, but it was still a good way to start the game.
Joe, I guess I kind of have a two-parter. How does the short week change your preparation, and then where do you come down on the 3.5 days to get ready for an NFL game?
Man, well, you just can't be. You can't really do anything physical. You have to have a lot of mental work and rely on the guys to digest the game plan and know what to do come the game, because it's getting that mental work and getting your legs underneath you as much as you can to be able to play at your normal game speed come Thursday. As a quarterback, it's not the worst thing in the world. I think it's week to week. Some weeks it might end up not being great, and other weeks you're going to feel fine by Thursday. And the good side of it is that you get a mini bye week after that. But as far as the rest of the guys go, the guys that are actually playing football out there, it's a really quick turnaround, man, and I don't know how they do it. So you got to give a lot of credit to them. All right, thanks. Yep.